AITA for refusing to pay for medicine of my old mom and dad and continue to ignore them when they need me the most. My parents treated me unfair and bully me for my appearance. When they didn't have enough financial support from my brother, they asked me for money and I refused to offer them. My whole family, society, relatives think that I am an a-hole for cutting ties with my parents. My parents had 2 boys, 1 girl, which is me. Growing up, they always treat me as a house help. My mother made fun of the fact that I am losing vision in my one eye. She always makes stupid comments on my appearance and weight. She always complains how I don't help her more around the house and stuff. However, whenever I needed money, she would give me not the same amount, but somewhat near the amount. We grew up in a village. My education was very cheap, less than $1 per month. My father often bullied me for my weight, and whenever I have to study, he would comment like, "Why are you doing this? Which friend of yours you saw doing this and you started copying her?" I asked him, he think I copy someone, he says, because I know they are better than me. He would tell me to go study in the woods if I am getting disturbed by the noise he and my brother are making while playing video games. My father, when he was 50 and I was 23, tried to beat me, and I pushed him so hard he had injury in his lower back permanently that still hurts, and I think he think of me every time it hurts. My father always say thinks you are such a slut for cutting your hair short and asking for attention. My mother told me every day that every feature I have is faulty. My nose, eyes, face, hands. I got sick, and my younger brother got sick at the same time. I have to take care of him, and when I told him I was sick too, was told to suck it up. I cooked for 5 people from the age of 14 to 23. Whenever I am at the home, I wash dishes, laundry, cleaning, etc. Whenever I have to sleep or rest, father would come up with most stupid out-of-the-box chore that he have created for me. I used to go crying myself bed whenever I make food, and he just tell at me how awful the food was after eating plate after plate. He once told me after I spill acid on my brother's jeans that this should have been my face. My brothers didn't get the life my parents thought they would get younger. Brother is a liability to them as he refused to work and doesn't leave his bedroom. Older brother doesn't make that much of money, and he have a family, 2 wife, kids, etc. I, on the flip side, end up working as high-paying government officer, and my husband own jewelry business. He is the richest guy, not literally, in the entire city. I don't want more than he has. He never had issues with me working. I cut ties with my parents even before getting married. My husband always supported me. My parents too. Got me blacklisted from all the relatives after marrying into a different religion. Now suddenly, after my older brother is not able to finance my parents, they call me out of nowhere to give them a very huge amount for now and in future to provide for them food, medicine, and stuff like that. I said no, I would never do that. They then call everyone that still maintains contact with me how awful of a child I am. Ungrateful. All the worst names you can hear about yourself. AITA relevant comments. Commenter, nope. NTA. It amazes me how some can treat their child so hatefully and then want money from them. Stay far away from them and give them nothing. OP. Thanks for supporting my decision, as it is very hard when all the family members and relatives are guilt-tripping you. Also, English is not my first lang, sorry for inconvenience. Thanks for supporting me, commenter. If it is available, maybe see a therapist about your past and your worries. Your fears are valid. I knew I wanted to be a mother. It is hard, and you will sometimes worry if you are doing the right thing for them. I think the past can shape you into a better mother and a better person. You were dealt a bad hand, but that doesn't mean you have to be or do the same things as them. You didn't deserve what they did to you. Just know that you have the choice to be a better person. Take time, reflect, and heal. Commenter, NTA. Ask them why are they surprised. They always told you that you were an awful person. You're just meeting their expectations. Commenter, the relatives don't want to pay your family any money. That's why they want you to pay. Your parents are reaping karma. Had they been living, you would have been loving. Their golden child sons can get jobs and support them. No? I guess they backed the wrong horse. These people are true evil and abusive. Do not open your door to them. They wouldn't help you if you needed them. So do not return the favor. Just say, you don't have that kind of money. Your brothers need to get jobs. Story 2. AITA for letting my girlfriend's sister walk in on us. I, 24 million, have been with my girlfriend, 23 million, for 3 years, and we've built a relationship that works for us. We've been exploring a cuckold dynamic, where my girlfriend actually enjoys watching me be with other women. It's something we both agreed on and are comfortable with. The problem happened when my girlfriend's sister, 26F, walked in on us. My girlfriend had given her sister a spare key for emergencies, but last weekend, while I was with another woman in our living room, my girlfriend watching as usual, her sister came over unexpectedly. She didn't knock, just walked in and saw the whole thing. She stood there for a moment, then quickly left without saying anything. My girlfriend and I were both shocked and embarrassed. Later that day, her sister texted, calling our relationship sick and saying she was disgusted by what she saw. My girlfriend feels horrible, like she put her sister in a really awkward position, but we didn't think anyone would just walk in without warning. Now things are super tense. Her sister hasn't spoken to her since. It's put a lot of strain on my girlfriend, and she's questioning whether we should even continue with this part of our relationship. I feel bad that her sister walked in on us, but at the same time, I don't think we did anything wrong. We were in our own home, doing something that we both agreed to, and she should have knocked before coming in. AITA for letting this happen? Or should her sister have respected our privacy? Relevant comments. Commenter. Time to take the key back from your girlfriend's sister. She abused her spare key trust privilege. Commenter. NTA. She used an emergency key for a non-emergency and got what she deserved. Has she explained what she was doing unlocking the door and walking in uninvited? Commenter. NTA. What two consenting adults plus one in your case do behind closed doors is nobody else's business, especially not the business of a sister who barges in unannounced and uninvited. Your girlfriend needs to own her own life and not be browbeat by an uptight sister. If she can't, then you are in the wrong relationship. Commenter. People need to take responsibility for their actions. You two have taken responsibility for yours. You've agreed to this and have had conversations about this. She used an emergency key when it wasn't an emergency. She didn't give a heads up or anything, yet she wants to judge you for your actions but not accept judgment and responsibility for hers. Nope. NTA. While I feel bad for your GF, this isn't on her to resolve. Your activities would have remained private had she remained respectful and responsible for that key. She chose to use it when she wasn't supposed to. Now, she was exposed to something she'd rather have not seen. That's her problem. Story 3. WIBTA. If I give my daughter an ultimatum? A bit of background. I, 40F, have been a single parent to 2 daughters since my youngest, 13F, let's call her Sophie, was 6 months old, but I have been in a steady relationship for 6 years and plan to get married next year. My oldest daughter, 19, let's call her Jane, has been in a relationship with her boyfriend, 18, let's call him Harry, for 8 months now, and in my opinion, the relationship is not healthy. Me and Jane have always been close, doing loads of things together as a family along with Sophie, and in recent years, since she left school, going on mom and daughter days out. This being said, she has always had abandonment issues following her dad leaving and not having contact with her, his choice, not mine. Around 8 months ago now, she started seeing Harry, and at first I thought he was a nice lad, albeit very quiet, which is the opposite to Jane. They would spend an equal amount of time at my house and his, but spent pretty much all their time together, except for when Jane was in work or uni. About 8 weeks into the relationship is where it all changed. She started staying in Harry's house more. I didn't mind this as she was still calling me daily, but I did miss spending time together, and she did come home 1 or 2 times a week. I accepted this as she is an adult and has her own mind. When Jane was coming home, I noticed that she would close herself in her room with Harry and not get involved in family life like she used to. She also didn't go to the bathroom alone. I mean, Harry even joined her when she was having a poo. Sorry, TMI, which is ridiculous. This meant we couldn't have our usual mum and daughter chats. Gradually, over the last few months, she has started staying home less, maybe once every 2 weeks, and only contacts me when she wants money. So about 6 weeks ago, I got my partner to pick her up from work so she could come home for a chat. I told her that we, myself, Sophie and my partner, missed her and asked her to stay home a bit more. She has her driving test coming up, and I told her when she was living at home she could use my car. So I also explained that the use of the car was conditional to her being at home, as I didn't want it at Harry's house due to his family smoking pot in the house and also being tied to fighting and threatening behavior. I explained that I couldn't give her use of a car with a clear conscience knowing that she could be intoxicated with pot, even from secondhand smoke. She agreed to stay home at least 3 days a week and also agreed to take Sophie on a day out. Following this, she has stayed 3 times, and I had to remind her of her promise to Sophie. Currently, as of today, 17th September 2024, I haven't heard from her for 15 days. I know it is Harry stopping her seeing me, as she said he doesn't like staying because he's scared to offend me if he doesn't like the food I'm cooking. He only eats beige food. But I think there is more to it than this, as I am always accommodating and cook chicken for him. We have never gone this long without speaking, and it's breaking my heart. I am so worried as it feels like abuse through isolation, as she also isn't having any contact with her friends and spends every moment she is not in work with Harry. Also, Sophie has pretty much given up on ever seeing her again, which is devastating. Sophie is autistic. As well as the above, she has broken plans with her auntie and uncle and her friends, missing a concert when she paid over £70 for tickets. So it's not just her immediate family she is not spending time or making contact with. Due to my concern, I am thinking of giving her an ultimatum. It's us or Harry, as we can't sit back and watch her ruin her life with him. Note, I say this as she doesn't go out other than work. She doesn't see or speak to friends. Her only contact with anyone is with him and his family. So Reddit, WIBTA, if I ask my daughter to choose between her family and her boyfriend. Update. Thanks for all your advice and shared resources. They are all very much appreciated. I am currently reading through all the different resources and will be reaching out to Jane once I have determined the best approach. I will say that whatever I do will be full of love and support and will not be issuing an ultimatum as I get now that it is the wrong approach. I will note that I have never told Jane that I don't like Harry, nor have I made any negative comments about him to her, as I know that is the wrong approach. I am scared for my daughter, and I now feel like I have received the advice I needed to proceed. I will update again once I have spoken to her. This may not be for a few days, though. Relevant comments. Commenter. If you tell her to choose, she will choose him. I agree with you, he is isolating her on purpose, but you will lose her completely if you make her choose. At present, she is too enmeshed to see how unhealthy her relationship is. Is she at a university close to home, or does she stay in dorms, shared housing? If she's away from him whilst at uni, then perhaps try and arrange to see her whilst she's away. You need to stay present in her life, non-judgmental, supportive of her and her ambitions. When she, hopefully, realizes that Harry is not good for her, there needs to be somewhere for her to turn to. That is you. If you've given her the ultimatum of Harry or family, she will have nowhere to turn when she needs someone. OP. She is staying at home while in uni. She starts second year in October and wanted to do a year in dorms, but he told her he would dump her if she did, as it's too far away, even though it's just a 20-minute train ride. I would never fully push her away. I would always make sure she knows she has a home to come back to, but it's breaking me watching her go through this and knowing I can't do anything. Commenter. You would be TA if you do best you can do is sit her down and just let her know that from what you've seen, their relationship doesn't seem healthy and that you will be here for her and not to be afraid to talk to you. OP. Thank you. This is great advice. I think I will try and speak to her alone and tell her my concerns. Maybe get my sister and brother-in-law involved too as an intervention, as she has always been close to them. Hopefully between the three of us we can get her to listen. Commenter. It won't work. You need to back off a lot at this point or you will push her away. Being upfront about your dislike of Harry will give him good reason to isolate her more. Is that what you want? She will go home and tell him, even part of, what you've said, and he will convince her that she needs to see you less, and she will do that to keep him happy. You cannot fix this for her, even though it's understandable that you desperately want to. She is now free to make her own choices, and you need to play the long game. She will not have an immediate revelation and break up with him just because you point out some flaws. It doesn't work that way. The most important thing is to keep communication going and making sure that she always knows you are her safe space. But also, you need to dial it back a lot and deal with your heartbreak at her separating from you on your own. She is not your best friend. She is your daughter. She is meant to leave the nest at this stage of her life. She is not responsible for you feeling abandoned now that you see her less. I understand that he's isolating her from you, but also daily phone calls to mom from a first-year university student is excessive. They should be enjoying life and socializing and making new friends and experiencing independence. So you need to bear in mind that it is possible that part of what you see as him isolating her is her just exploring her new independence. And you won't find out if it's 99% his control and 1% her independence, or 50-50, or even 90% her enjoying some independence and barely any control from him until you back way off and give her some space. TLDR. There are two things going on here. Quite possibly he is controlling her and isolating her. It happens. But you are way too enmeshed with your adult daughter's life. You need to deal with that, your heartbreak, first, so that you are able to deal with the first thing more calmly. Thank you so much for watching until the end. If you enjoyed our videos, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to stay updated with our latest one. Have a great day.